Okay, I really lied to you, sorry. I just realized that before I tell you everything you need to know about the actual biomolecules, carbohydrates, fats, proteins and nucleic acids, we first need to dive a little deeper into something else, the water molecule and the carbon atom. Now, I know you're thinking, jeez, water is important, we know already. But, well, the thing is, you don't, little rascal, okay? Very well, let's start by saying that, yes, water is very important, that's incredibly true. But why is that? Because it's basically the cheat code for the living things. It is by far the most important and abundant molecules in cells and tissues, being something around 70% of both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. It's not only the greatest solvent possible, but also a reagent or a product of a huge number of chemical reactions that constantly occur in every living organism, from the formation of ATP to the making of the cell membrane. It's essential for the transport of nutrients around the organism, be it a plant or an animal or a unicellular organism. It's also correlated to the heat control mechanism, thanks to stuff like sweating. All of this is true because of a lot of chemical reasons we've already briefly talked in previous videos. Water is a chemical compound which formula is H2O, meaning that it's made of one oxygen and two hydrogens. The funny thing about this particular combination is that in comparison to hydrogen, oxygen is very big, with a high electronegativity and 4 free electrons in its valence shell. The electrons repulse each other and also the hydrogen, creating an angle of 104.5 degrees. The high electronegativity means that water is also a polar molecule, allowing the water molecules to make hydrogen bonds with each other. The polarity also makes it a perfect solvent, capable of breaking weaker bonds. A solvent is something where you pour something, a solute, in, creating a solution. For example, blood is a solution where the solutes are the blood cells, like the red and white blood cells, and the solvent is a liquid called plasma. Also, water usually has a pH of 7, which is compatible with the great majority of biological reactions. pH is a way to measure the acidity of a solution. When this value is higher than 7, then we call the solution a base. When it's lower, then we call it acid. The pH level inside of an organism is actually controlled by a lot of stuff that we're gonna discuss in future videos. So, as you see, water is really important. Probably one of the healthiest things you can do right now to feel better is to sleep for 7 hours straight, have a walk, and to drink 2 liters of water a day. Now, moving on with the carbon atom. Remember before when I said that water is the cheat code for life? Well, the carbon is the super secret, even more powerful cheat code for life. It's like an instant win, no sweat. How is that possible? Again, you should probably ask an actual organic chemist why is that, but I'll give you the abridged version. Maybe you didn't notice, but this whole channel is an abridged version of a biology class. Carbon is located in the fourth group of the periodic table, at the same distance from helium and neon, the stable noble gases that are before and after it. This position makes it pretty difficult for it to form ionic bonds, so it mostly forms covalent bonds. This is perfect to obtain a lot of good stuff. It is capable of doing 4 different bonds at once with a tetrahedral structure. It is a pretty small atom. It can form a chain of whatever length with other carbon atoms, be it small, long, with branches or even enclosed in a ring, and, last but not least, this allows to create different molecules with the same number of atoms, the so-called isomers. There are a hell lot of them, and they are very similar and very different at the same time. They have an incredibly similar aspect, but can behave in completely different ways. Yes, that's really cool and everything, but what does that mean for biology? Well, it means that you are made of it, and your hamster, and the dolphin, and the trees, and the birds, the fungi, the cholera, and beer, and oil, and pasta, and grass. It means that nature has found the right kind of bricks to start building something cool. And that's it, well, at least for now. Now we can actually talk about the biomolecules as well. Now, I don't like to say it out loud, but Dream has told you this before. Only a small percentage of people that watch my video are actually subscribed, and you know, it takes a lot of time to make even these small videos, so if you could subscribe, maybe like and leave a comment, that would be great. Thank you, see you in the lipid video!